Lucas, thank you so much for joining me today. We got Lukas Moldenhauer. Super excited to see you April 19th in Rockford at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford. How's training going for that fight, first and foremost?
Really good. We've been training for a while. We kind of never stop training. After my fights, I'll get a couple days to a week off, and then we're right back to it. So we never have like a camp. We're kind of always in camp, I guess I'd say. So yeah, it's been really good. Just staying focused.
And I just found this out from you, and this is pretty interesting stuff. So, when I was 21, I was doing a lot of things. Buying a condo wasn't one of them. You just told me that we're doing this interview from your condo. So, tell me a little bit about like your journey, just I suppose from high school, which was only about 3 years ago, and just to where you're at right now.
Yeah. So out of high school, I was doing a little bit of welding in high school, and then I was working all throughout high school too. And then I started working young when I was like 15 or 14, through the gym. Pat was like my coach, Pat White. He had me cleaning, and then I started coaching with younger kids, and then that went to teens, and now I teach. I do privates. I teach classes. So I've just been in the gym, I guess, since I was young. Real young. I guess like 11, training, and then Pat kind of gave me that mentorship to help coach. So I started coaching as well.
Awesome. So you were working really young. What made you want to work at such a young age? Again, you got a house at or a condo at 21. At 14, you were working. At 14, I also don't think I was doing something quite like that. Where does that come from? That work ethic, or just like getting after it?
I guess just like the people around me. Pat's always been a big mentor in my life, so he's always working with me, working with other people, and then my dad as well. He's the same way. Growing up, he was working, so I guess kind of just the people around me, showing that discipline, and like kind of whatever you want, you kind of get for yourself. So
What age did you actually have your first amateur fight?
I was 12 or 13, or maybe like I just turned 13. But yeah, I was doing like a little bit of like off season for football. We went and trained at Pat's gym, my team, and then I kind of like stuck around there, and then I was doing like probably like 11. I was hanging around there for the off season, and then Pat actually was connected with another like a CrossFit gym, and I was like a chunky kid, so I was like losing weight over there, trying to lose weight. And then Pat was inviting me over to take class, so I started taking class, and then I was asking him, can I stay later? So I was just kind of staying in the gym, and then, that love began there for sure.
That's so funny because I was just talking to him last night and then earlier today, and he said he's like, we have a lot in the area we're in. We get a lot of people who come for fitness, and it's great for business. He goes,
For
but
sure.
not as many fighters come through, and
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it because I just interviewed Deontay Pettigrew, who's the heavyweight, and
Yeah, Tank, yeah.
that's exactly how he got in the gym, just trying to lose weight. So like,
Yeah.
where do you think that boundary gets crossed? Where you're losing weight, you're feeling good, and then you're like, you know what? I kind of want to be in that ring doing this.
Yeah, I think it's just like that competitive spirit. You're, I guess, chasing some type of goal. You're doing it for some type of reason, like lose weight, and then you lose that weight. Now, now what? And you obviously, love it or you like it. So you want to, keep doing whatever that is. And then, yeah, I think that just comes from there. Getting new goals, I guess, for yourself. And then, yeah, so for me, it was just like, I don't know, hanging around the gym. I lost the weight, and I really loved boxing, or liked boxing at the time. And then, I started to love it. So just stayed in the gym.
Going into your professional journey, what's really exciting is you're an active fighter. Some guys they may fight once a year, twice a year. You're fighting, and it looks like you're continually stepping up. A little bit more at a time, a tougher competition at a time. Is that part of the strategy to stay very busy, or is that just how it's sort of worked out?
For sure, Pat's big on like learning on the job. So, and that's where you get the best, experience. That's where you learn the most. So yeah, definitely, like a lot of old time fighters. Pat's big on that, my coach. So we watch them, we study them, and like they're all, you look at their records. They have over 100 fights. Look at Roberto Duran, Chavez. Just all those old school fighters. They have a lot of fights, so Pat's big on that. You learn on the job, and and they say it now too. Like a lot of fighters, they take such a long break, they end up getting injured because they're training so much, and nothing's coming out of it. So yeah, just learning on the job. That's the biggest thing for me, especially being so young. You want to be able to get that experience.
Um, as far as like these challenges and each step up, what's the biggest difference you noticed going pro versus like the amateur ranks?
I'd say I don't know. So it's hard to say just because Pat has always taught us in like a pro style. I'd say so. Coming from the amateurs, I think it would just be how other people would fight. I guess very like pity patty, move pity patty. The pros, you kind of settle more into that pace. You could dig your shots more. I just like a difference in judging too. How the amateurs are. Tap tap tap, move, tap tap
Yep.
tap. So I think it's just like more allowing myself to fight how I want to fight, especially in the pros. Sit down, come forward, whatever angle. Just sit down, dig your shots more. You're not so on the judges like trying to outpoint the guy. I guess you want to take the guy out.
You have your own style, and that's the way it should be. But because you guys watch so much tape, who kind of jumps out to you when you're watching the older fighters, where you're like, wow, that's impressive, or like that's the style that I like?
There's a lot like I can't relate. I'm not as slick or anything like James Toney, but I love James Toney. I've been watching a lot of Miguel Cotto. I like Chavez. I like Duran. Yeah. Ezra Charles is a cool guy to watch. He's real old. But yeah, I guess just like a lot of the main guys. But I've been watching a lot of Miguel Cotto lately, so I like him a lot.
What is it about his style that jumps out to you where you're like, I like that?
A little Pat has been watching him too. Just seeing how he like little things like parts in his career, like how he was able to learn, I guess, and just kind of develop to a better fighter. But for me, I like how he comes forward, and I like how he can move out of the high guard as well. I like that a lot. Just because we've been messing around with the high guard, I like fighting out of the high guard. So yeah, I just been watching him.
Awesome. You know, has anyone ever said this? And it's kind of funny. You seem almost too nice to be a fighter. In talking to you,
Yeah,
you seem
oh
like just
yeah,
a
I get
really
that a
nice guy.
lot. Yeah, especially a white kid like me, like, yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, doesn't mean shit, obviously. Like what you
Yeah,
do in the
yeah, no,
ring and how you
no.
are, but no, it's funny. It's one of the nicest fighters I've ever talked to. Very
Thank
polite.
you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so this fight coming up April 19th. What has you most fired up for this fight?
Just that step up. Just someone in front of me I gotta take out. That's same goal. Stay focused. Take the guy out and add another win and just keep stepping up, like you said.
Right on. So against him, his record I think is very deceiving. I had a chance to see him. I think it was added more recently, but very deceiving record because he has losses, but they are against some pretty tough opposition. I watched a few of his fights, and he's definitely a crafty guy with a lot of experience. His defense isn't perfect, but it's effective enough to really slow you down so you can't get going. What is the game plan to overcome a guy like that?
Just kind of stick to what we've been doing. Pressure. Obviously, don't stand in front of him. Don't wait for him. But yeah, he like you say, he keeps his hands up good. He throws a lot, and just counter him as he's punching. Yeah.
Just want to get to know you a little bit, like outside of boxing. You must be a busy guy. You're working. You have your own place. You're training for fights. I can't imagine you have a whole lot of free time. But where do people find you if you're not training and you're just relaxing? What's the life like for you?
Relaxing. Okay. So usually, I'm at the gym morning and night. So I'll come back to my condo. It's like 40 minutes from the gym. So I don't got, like you said, I don't got a lot of time. But going on walks. So I just got a dog. I got a French bulldog. Like
Nice.
yeah, like last March. So I spent a lot of time with him. Going on walks. I guess I'd say I like to fish a lot.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so fishing, I guess hanging out with my dog, my family, my girlfriend.
How often do you get to go fishing? You get it in like maybe once a week or?
Yeah. At my parents' house, if I go see them, they got a pond in their backyard and we stocked it.
Oh,
So
nice.
I can fish out there. So yeah, it doesn't like I can do it any day I want, I guess. But yeah, once a week. Especially with
Good
the
stuff.
weather now kind of hitting the 70s, I'm gonna be out there.
Yeah, by the way, man, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today
Oh,
because
of course.
today's
Yeah.
70s and it's going to
Yeah.
be
Thank
like
you.
tomorrow's nice and then after that it's going to go back to like anyone who's not from Chicago, it's going to be like in the 50s. It's
Yeah.
terrible,
Yeah.
but I appreciate you taking that time,
Oh, of
man.
course. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Maybe this isn't it's hard to answer these questions sometimes, but where do you foresee yourself maybe in the next year to 2 years? Do you have a goal in mind or is it taking it one fight at a time?
One fight at a time. I'm gonna take it as far as I can. So yeah, yeah, one fight at a time. I'm gonna just take it as far as I can.
And just giving you the opportunity to really sell it, for anyone who watches this, let them know what they will see if they come out and see you fight on April 19th.
Action packed. I'm gonna walk them down. I'm gonna take them out. Yeah, action packed.
Right on, man. Hey, Lucas, I appreciate you a ton. Thanks for taking the time. I look forward to seeing you fight, man. I'm super excited.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.